Hello learners, since we've seen the previous two videos about IVC, after IVC we witness another stage in the Indian history which is our Vedic age. Before IVC it is our Stone Age, IVC is our Bronze Age, and coming to the Vedic age we call it as an Iron Age because iron was being introduced to the land. So this particular main key feature, this particular transition is what is making two different ages or two different periods separated with the characteristics associated. So in this particular video, we'll learn about the Vedic age. If we are very well, or at least if we know something about history, we can categorize Vedic age into two things. One is our early Vedic period or Rig Vedic period, and the later one is called the later Vedic age. We can see the level of atrocities increased from this period to this period, how the society is getting transformed, how economical aspects are getting transformed, and also how the political structure. Before it all, we were having egalitarian. In IVC as well, we have seen that there was an egalitarian kind of characteristics associated with the polity. But now we can see some kind of a kingdom or a chiefdom, some kind of a primitive polity will be developed in this particular periods. So we'll analyze that for our exam perspective. So roughly the whole Vedic period, the both early and later Vedic period combined is between our 1500 BCE to 600 BCE, and mainly this transition from IVC. In the videos I have told that there are number of theories associated why IVC has to decline. One such theory could be your Aryan invasion or Aryan migration. So it is associated that the Vedic period has happened or characterized because of the migration of the Indo-Aryans. These Indo-Aryans are none other than the people who categorized by the Vedic period or Vedic age. So this period is divided into two phases I have told you. First is the early Vedic period, which is also called the Rig Vedic period. We'll see what exactly, why do we call as this particular period as Rig Vedic. And the later phase from your 1000 BCE to 600 BCE, it is called later Vedic period. We'll see the different aspects. Mainly we'll focus on the polity, economy and society. Important. And always remember, whenever you write an analytical perspective or analytical answer for a mains question, make sure that you address all these points associated to that particular period or that particular aspect of the question. So what kind of information or where do we get this information about the Vedic people, even if the early or the later, nothing, the combined Vedic people, where from we get this information? First information we'll get from the literary sources, and the other one we get from the archaeological aspects. Though we found a literary source in IVC, we couldn't decipher it. But as we couldn't decipher it, we completely relied on the archaeological artifacts or aspects. Coming to the Vedic age, we are mainly relying on the literary sources more than the archaeological artifacts. So coming to literary sources, there are number of literature being found particular to this particular period. One is our Vedas, and there are 4 Vedas associated with the Vedic period. One is the Rig Veda, second is the Sama Veda, third is Yajur Veda, and the fourth one is Atharva Veda. There are 4 Vedas associated, and the early or the first Veda which has been compiled or which was been sourced about this particular period is our Rig Veda. That is why we call the early Vedic period as Rig Vedic period. This is the oldest, composed around 1500 BCE. Oldest among all the rest 3. And this has been dedicated to deities like Indra, Agni, Varuna and Soma. If you see, they are all associated to nature. The deities are associated to nature. That means some kind of nature worship was being prominent during this period. And the next one is your Sama Veda, which is the compilation of chants and melodies which are derived from the Rig Vedic hymns. Then we have Yajurveda, which is manual performing rituals and sacrifices. Remember, rituals and sacrifices. Atharva Veda is nothing but your magic, spells and the daily life practices, and also some kind of ceremonic things which can give us relief from such kind of pain, or some kind of chanting and all such. So there are 4 Vedas associated, where this 4 Vedas give knowledge about the Vedic age in a whole. And also we have Brahmanas, where they are commentaries of the Vedas explaining the rituals. Here if we see in the Yajurveda, we do have rituals and sacrifices, and how do we have to perform. Here they explain or they give comment on this kind of rituals. Where is it? It is in Brahmanas, and this is one such source where we understand the Vedic period. And also we have Aranyakas, where it's a philosophical interpretation of rituals meant for forest dwelling sages. If we know Lord Rama, he do know that there is some kind of punishment, and that punishment can be fulfilled by taking or getting into forest dwelling, that kind of aspects. Where do that kind of aspects come from? The another text is Upanishad, where it is a philosophical treatise exploring ideas of Brahman, which is the universal soul, Atman, which is an individual soul, and concepts like karma and moksha. These kind of concepts are there in Upanishads, and we understood by reading this that Vedic period were associated, or their minds were related to this. That they do have sacrifices and all, but they are in some kind of a harmony where we understand that harmonial life from this text. And also we have Smritis, which is the early law books like Manusmriti, where there were some kind of rules, some rules and regulations for the society to work properly. And certain kinds of archaeological sources also, like Astinapur site, Atranjikera and Sinoli. Sinoli is being excavated, and it's like a very important site right now for us. It is going to shape both the political dimensions of the present scenario. So these are the early evidences of iron tools and pottery where belong to the Vedic period. So there are 2 sources. One is a literary source, and the second one is the archaeological source. So combine these sources, we somewhat understand the aspects of the Vedic period. What is it? First we will understand the early Vedic period, then we will understand the later Vedic period. As I told, it is belonging to 1500 to 1000 BCE. What is the geographical extent? Sapta Sindhu means 7 rivers, 5 tributaries and 2 of the Indus. This part of the region is our early Vedic period. Indus and its tributaries, Punjab, parts of Haryana and western UP. If you see this part, this is a geographical extent. Whoever, see there are 2 things associated. One, it can be said that these Aryans or Indo-Aryans were there, they got migrated from Eurasia part or steppes of Russia or from central India. So they came and they got settled in this part of the region. I've given you, that is a geographical extent. That is how slowly the Vedic culture got introduced in this region. So what is a polity? Main important, that's a tribal polity where the tribes were organized into janas. And the chief or the head of this jana was your Rajan. He was the chief. He used to lead the tribe, and the powers were limited first of all. And do you think they got hereditary, or do you think there's some kind of war and all? No. There was a concept called Sabha, where the council of elders and Samiti, general election, this people of this Sabha, whoever the people belonging to them, they used to elect on the merit and popularity basis. On the valor, on the power, if the chief can protect the tribe or the people of the tribe and the cattle. Based on that, the election should happen. So it's not an hereditary kinship, and the responsibility was for him to protect the people of that particular tribe or jana and also the cattle present over there. And also there were some kind of other officials, like the priest was called as a Purohit, and an army chief was called as a Senani, and the village head was a Gramini. So there were four officials basically to protect the tribe or the territory. There was no territorial aspects, but the tribe wherever they settled, and also the cattle belonging to them. This was the polity. Coming to society, they were patriarchal and semi-nomadic. That means society centered around cattle rearing. Wherever the pastorals were there, they used to nomad, but semi-nomadic. They're not continuously. They used to stay for some period and then they used to search for another, and also very important, they are patriarchal in nature. Coming to Varna system, based on occupation, the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas and the Shudras were been there. There was no caste system but the Varna system. Flexibility in social mobility. If you are good at some occupation, you can move the ladder. If you are not good at the occupation, you can come down to the ladder. We know the ladder like this. The four Varnas, they were no by birth, but it was by occupation. A particular individual was being associated. And coming to women in the early Vedic period, it's a very good point that they had a better status compared to the later periods. We'll see the atrocities done in the later Vedic age, and women were also participating in the sabhas and samitis very well. They participated in the religious ceremonies and also the assemblies. And the family were joint families, were common, were grihapati or the head of the household. This kind of technical terms are what is important in the prelims perspective. So make sure that you study them. And the economy, they were, as I told, they were pastoral and they were agrarian. Some kind of primitive agriculture was being known. So cattle rearing was primary and agriculture was secondary. How it will change, how it will intermix is what we will understand in the later Vedic period. Wealth was being measured by number of cows present in that particular family. Gaveshti, which was meant for search of cows. See, this kind of technical terms, Gaveshti, Grihaspati, this kind of technical terms are very important in this particular chapter because there can be question asked. Certain, suppose they'll say the term associated to this, what does it mean? So it's very important to know. And coming to trade, there was no currency or something. They used to have a barter system. Like if I have some wheat, if the opposite person has rice, we used to exchange goods to goods. So there were barter system. There was no currency. And coming to religion, they used to worship nature, as I told. So see, Indra, Agni and Varuna and Soma, I said that the four deities were been present in the Rig Vedic books. So Indra was associated to rain and thunder, which is a nature. Agni, the fire. Varuna and the cosmic order. Soma, the elixir. So they used to have a form of nature worship. And there was no idol worships or temples. And yagnas were there for the central religious practices. Yagnas were being performed. That means rituals were there but not idol worship. They used to worship nature. So these are the political, economic, society aspects of Vedic period. We'll see how this Vedic period got transmitted to later Vedic period in the next video. Thank you.